And to do that, I had to prove myself. I had to show the plan so many times. I had to go to so many meetings. And then I had to have a meeting that night. And after the meeting, I could go meet with the top guy. I called him the chief honcho. And so at 12 o'clock midnight, I got to his house, and I went through the big gates and past the fountains, and I got to sit down with him in this mansion. And he asked me what my goals were. And I told him that I wanted to set some records. I wanted to break 3 of these direct things off, which was a level in the business, in 90 days. And he challenged me. He said, you know, why are you saying that? That's such a big goal. I don't want you to set a goal that you can't reach, that you won't do what it takes to be successful. Why don't you just say that you're going to hit, say, $1,500 volume, and then a year from now you'll hit that level? Because I don't want you to disappear. I don't want you not to be able to face me or yourself because you set a goal that you're not willing to do what it takes to reach that goal. Then you won't be able to face yourself, and you won't be able to face me, and you'll disappear. You won't stay in the business. I said, no, I'm going to do it. I look at all the meetings I have booked. I mean, I'm ready to do this. I'm serious about it. He says, well, it's going to take 300 people in order to reach that level. You have to put 300 people in the business. Now, how are you going to do that? What behind your ears? You know, how much credibility or experience? How are people going to listen to you? I said, I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out. He said, well, you're going to have to get them to the seminar. And that means you're going to have to sell them tickets. And so you should get 300 tickets. But you know, JR, you don't need to tell me that you're going to hit this big level to impress me. Why don't you just lower the goal and make it more realistic? I said, no, I want to do it. He said, well, if you're serious, then you're going to have to get 300 tickets and get 300 people out to the meeting. I said, I'll do it. And he started counting out the tickets. I thought he was going to give them to me on consignment. But then he asked for a check. Okay, and I had to pull out a checkbook and write a check for $1,500, which would probably, you know, be several $1,000s today. But I on the way home, you know, I was very, very nervous because I didn't have the money in my checking account. I had to move those tickets. So I stopped at my first guy's house that I got in the business, a guy that I went to high school with, Joe Caviccia. And I said, Joe, I was just with the chief honcho, and I'm going to break 3 of these directs off. What are you doing? He says, you're not going to pass me by. I'm going to go direct too. I said, well then, Joe, why don't you just say you're going to hit 1,500? Because I don't want you to set a goal that you can't reach, and because you won't be able to face yourself, and you won't be able to face me, and you won't be in the business with me. So I was basically duplicating exactly what the guy that brought me in, or the chief honcho that I went to see, the leader, did with me. And I said, but Joe, you know, if you really want to do that, we're going to have to get people out to the meeting. It's going to take about 100 people for you to reach that goal. He says, well, I'll do that. You know, I'll do it with you. So I said, well, I just happen to have the tickets right here. And I started counting out the tickets. And, of course, Joe paid me, and then I went with him to tickets at meetings. Well, to make a long story short, we sold 290 tickets. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What happened to the other 10 tickets? Well, we ate them. But what about the 290 that we sold? And then at that meeting, we had 200 people show up. And right away, somebody says, well, what happened to the other 90? They didn't show. But what about the 200 people that did show, that did attend? You see, because of that, we got them started right. What we set in motion carries in motion. We're in the business of keeping people in the business until they see the light. They saw the light right from the beginning because we put them in front of credible people, successful people, and they learned about how this worked. And as a result, we were able to set records for growth. We grew faster than anybody had ever grown. And it was all because of belief and duplication. You see, what we set in motion carried in motion. Okay? And I often think today, what if he never sold me that ticket? What if I had never gone to that meeting? You know, Market America wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today. That ticket was so important. I quite often wonder how many James and Marion Quos or Joanne Shees are out there, or vice presidents are waiting in the rough. They never were realized, were never discovered because no one sold them a ticket. And no one got them to see the light. And no one got them to be exposed to the right people and the right thinking so that they could see that it was good enough for them. So that ticket was a miracle. And I want you to understand that when you see somebody, when you show somebody a plan, it's so important to get them to buy that ticket. Free has no value. The fact that they pay for that ticket makes it valuable, and it makes them committed to going to the meeting. And when they go to the meeting, they see the light, and it changes everything for them. It makes all the difference in the world. Then he also told me to listen to audio tapes. He gave me that audio, didn't he? And that audio opened my eyes. It got into my head. It got into my mind. It's like that little pill that I talk about that has belief in it, that has knowledge in it. I listened to the audio tapes. Today we have, back then it was cassettes. Today we have iPods and downloads. But what if I didn't listen to that audio? He fed me more audios after that. He told me that, you know, you have to be constantly feeding your mind, training yourself, learning. And if you listen to a tape every day for 30 days, it'll become a habit. It takes 30 days to form a habit. And I formed that habit. So you see, I bought the ticket and I listened to audios, to tapes, and programmed my mind. And I can tell you that 30 years later, I've listened to a tape every single day of my life. And that's what affected me. That's what makes me strong mentally. That's what makes me creative. And that's what makes me a visionary in this business. That's what makes me have the type of conviction that I have, that I fed my mind. So in the process, because I bought those tickets, I had to get people in the business. I had to get them to the meeting. And because I listened to tapes, I learned about the business, and I had belief and confidence. So in that process, I learned how to show the plan, and I showed it daily. So I believe that there's three things that if you do them will cause everything else to come together, and everything that needs to happen will happen in order to be successful. And those things are: buy your ticket and sell tickets and build from event to event.